What is up? It's week 7. I'm Ryan Weisse, and this is Club Fantasy's Thrive Top 5. We all know week 7 is an absolute nightmare. Bye weeks, injuries, late games, early games. Everything sucks. Let's just put it bluntly. But that's what's great about prop betting and prop betting on Thrive is you get to pick your spots. If you're not playing on Thrive yet, be sure to check the link in the description. It gives you the opportunity to use our promo code CLUB, CLUB, and Thrive will match your opening deposit up to $100. If you don't know what Thrive is, we have a couple of different ways you can play. There is a DFS-like option where you pick prop bets based on points, and whoever has the most points wins the pot. Every week, our Chris Molina writes a great article with his top 5 Thrive props from the main slate. Say that 5 times fast. And what he does is gives you his top 5 regardless of the points. They also have what it's called a prop lobby, and that's kind of what I do, where you can pick 2, 3, or 4 props every week. And if you get all of them correct, they multiply your money. If you hit 2 correct, you get 3 times your money. 3 correct, 6 times your money. And 4 correct is 11 times your money. Putting it bluntly, I've hit one of these 4 for 4s every week for the last 4 consecutive weeks. And that's why I make this video. What's great about the prop lobby is we don't compete against each other. You can pick, I can pick, and we can both win. So let's jump into it. We hit 3 of 5 last week, which means 6 times your money. Again, that's 2 weeks in a row on my top 5. We're shooting for 4 of 5 or 5 of 5 this week. I'm going to start with Mike Davis over 45 rushing yards. Now, I do need to throw out one quick disclaimer. These props change occasionally, so what I have versus what you have might be a little bit different. They're usually pretty close to one another, but you're going to hear what I have them projected at to help you make your decision. So again, it's Mike Davis over 45 rushing yards taking on the Miami Dolphins. Miami actually allows 113 yards per game to the running back rushing, and 6 players have already hit this over on them this season. Davis has hit it 3 times, and I have him projected at 56 rushing yards, and that's splitting time with Cordero Patterson. I love this over for Mike Davis. I'm going to be playing it on a lot of parlays this week. Number 2 is going to be Lamar Jackson over 297 total yards. Jackson burned us a little bit last week, but I'm going right back to that well, and you'll understand why here in just a moment. Cincinnati does only allow 281 total yards to quarterbacks on the season. They've already allowed over 297 3 times, but it was all quarterbacks doing it with their arms. None of them have had the legs of Lamar Jackson. Lamar has hit this 297 number 5 times this season. It was actually every week except for last week when he burned us. So I'm back on. I have him at 327 total yards. Number 3 is going to be Damien Harris hitting 64 or more rushing yards. The Jets allow 111 yards to the running back rushing every week. I wanted this to be my number 1 prop, but some of the stats kind of pulled me away from that. I'm still on board with it. The Jets have only allowed 5 running backs over, or have allowed 5 running backs over 50 yards, but only 2 have hit that 64-yard mark. Harris has only done it twice, and he hit 62 yards against the Jets back in week 2 when they played each other. So there's a lot of reasons to think it's a little bit closer. I have him at 70 rushing yards this week. The Jets are bad against running backs, and New England should be able to run the football. Harris is really starting to look good. Nobody's stealing carries from him yet. So I'm all aboard Damien Harris over 64 rushing yards. Number 4 is Leonard Fournette over 62 rushing yards taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a notoriously good team against the running back, but they are allowing 98 rushing yards per game to running backs. 6 players have already hit this 62-yard mark against them this season. Fournette has done it 3 times consecutively. The last 3 weeks, he's been over that mark since he started to take more over the high-volume role for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have him at 77 rushing yards. I think he absolutely smashes this over. And number 5 this week is my highest one I think I've picked this entire season. It's Darrell Henderson over 81 rushing yards. It is a big number, but Detroit allows 114 rushing yards per game to running backs. They're bad. 4 players have already hit over 81 rushing yards against them. Henderson has only done it twice, but he's been over 50 yards in every game he's played this season. Sony Michel comes into this game with a questionable tag. I think they're going to lean Henderson. I think it's a high volume game. I have him at 86 rushing yards. So I have him just beating this, but it's still a beat. So those are my top 5 this week. Remember, check the links in the description. If you're not playing on Thrive Fantasy yet, there's numerous ways you can play, and you can get an opening deposit match of up to $100 if you use our link. I'll also have Chris Molina's article linked so you can see his top 5 props for the DFS main slate. And that's it. Good luck this week. Remember, in the prop lobby, we're not competing against each other. You can win and I can win. Let's go get that money.